Now we're going to do Born on the Bayou. And again, it starts in the E7. And what I've done is I've added a little bit of tremolo. And actually, I've got the setting on the speed. This is a Fender Vibrolux amplifier. I have the speed of the tremolo on 2 and the intensity on about 6. Now, this is obviously not the original amp that John Fogerty used, so it's not exactly the same. However, if you use those settings or experiment it to where you're happy with it, you'll find that tone. I'm using a Telecaster, and what I had done on that one, I'd used my middle pickup here, which is very much like a Stratocaster sound. I'm going to actually do it on the neck pickup for this tone. And once again, I'm going to use it. This is an E7 chord, and I'm playing it in the position starting with my 3rd finger on the E note on the 7th fret of the guitar. Okay, I just turned off the tremolo, so it would make it easier to explain what I'm doing. We don't need the tremolo getting in the way of understanding what notes I'm playing. As I mentioned before, this song is in E, and I happen to be on an E7th chord. And I like this position of the E7th for this song because it gives you a little fuller sound. You can play at some other locations. However, what you're doing then is taking advantage of some open strings, which in many songs sounds great. In the intro to this, I like it to be a little bit fuller. So let's get to it. Once again, I'm on an E7. 3rd finger is on the 7th fret on the A string, pushing down an E. So the first 2 notes I play an E, which is the 7th location on the A string. 2nd note is an A flat, and that is the 6th fret on the D string. So it's E, A. Then I'm playing in an octave E, which is the 5th fret on the B string. So it's, and I'm coming back to the 7th fret and the G string. And then hitting the E again. So it's. So what you're creating is a cycle. Once again, let's review that. So we're going 7th fret, A string, 6th fret, D string, 5th fret, B string, 7th fret, G string, back to the E again, 7th fret. So, and then hit the. Actually, I'm sorry. After I hit the 7th fret on the G string, I hit the 6th fret on the D string. So the cycle starts with the 6th fret on the D string, 5th fret on the B string, 7th fret on the G string, and you do that over and over again. And then I occasionally return to the E, which isn't exactly the way John did it on the record, but I kind of like the bass note coming back in. So here's a couple different ways to do it. That's the way John does it. This is the way I like to do it. See, what I'm doing is I'm throwing the E in there at the top of the cycle, if you will. The rhythm player, while the guitar player is doing this, the lead guitarist, the rhythm player is in the background going. It's a very distinct bass line, which I think makes the whole song. Okay, now, obviously this isn't a bass song. However, what the bass player is doing is using B, D, E, B, D, E. All of those combinations make actually the song, because again, it's really more of a rhythm song than anything else. Okay, then when it comes to the lead portion, There's two locations to play it. Okay, what I'm down now is I've got my middle finger on the 2nd fret on the G string, and I'm playing an A. Going down a half step, same string. And that note I'm playing there is an E, which is on the D string, 2nd fret. Another place to play it, and you'll notice, listen to the difference in tone. It's a little lower tone, a little more preferable sometimes. But however, on stage, I'll have to admit I saw John Fogerty do it, playing a red Telecaster, playing it down in the open position. And so then what he does is he slides up with his middle finger to the 4th fret on the G string, then ending on the 3rd fret on the B string. So once again the slide, I'm sliding from the 2nd fret on the G string to the 3rd fret on the G string, ending on the 3rd fret, excuse me, the 4th fret of the G string, ending on the 3rd fret of the B string. So. And that's actually the solo of the song, okay? Or the introduction of the solo of the song. Then what he does is he's got his middle finger and his 2nd finger on the middle finger's on the D string on the 7th fret. The 2nd finger is on the B string on the 7th fret. And what you do is you take that position and move it up a whole step or 2 frets. So here's what it sounds like. And again, 7th, 7th, middle finger, 2nd finger. 7th on the D string, 7th fret on the B string. Move both those two in unison. Return. And what you're doing is the middle finger is on the 6th fret on the D string and the 5th fret on the B string. Once again, let's repeat it. So what I'm doing is I'm actually pedaling back and forth. And here's the 2nd piece of it. So I'm taking the 7th to the 9th. Now what I'm doing is my middle finger is on the 11th fret on the D string, and my 1st finger is on the 10th fret on the B string. So it's returning to the 9th fret on the same fret position. So it's okay, so let's review what I just did again. Okay, once again, after you do the we do that once again, starting on the 7th fret, sliding to the 9th fret. Now, the chords are D, you lay your fingers down to an A, to the E7. Now, okay, in between, when he does on the E7th, what he does is he's laying down on the D, to an A. Now remember, what you're playing is the high strings on the guitar, so obviously you're going to play your E, B, G, and D strings when you're playing that A. D7. So what he's doing there to make that little what he's playing is an F sharp, which is the 7th fret of the B string, to a E, which is the 5th fret on the B string. So it's so what I've seen him do, and I've seen other players do it, is what he does is you take D, A, D, E7, and then lay down the D again, then return to the E7. And sometimes he'll go D, A, E7, D, A, which to me is incongruous, but it actually works. So I'll play it both ways. Okay, then the last part of the solo, he hits the E, slides up to a C sharp, so E, which is a A string, 7th fret, and a C sharp, of course, which is the 9th fret on the E string. So it's slide from the 7th fret to the 9th fret on the E string, then open it up on the E string. Back to the 9th fret, to the 7th fret on the A string. Okay, what that is, that I just played right there, is I'm going to the 9th fret on the E string, twice on the 7th fret on the A string, back once to the 9th fret on the E string, back again the 7th fret on the A string, and then open up on the E string. That's how so it's. Slow motion. So again, it's after. So that's pretty much the song.